It's going to be the fourth and the final part to the Larry Haun, legendary carpenter, house builder. You name it, he could do it. What just blew my mind is he was doing this back in 1992. Guy was a genius. These cats nowadays that are builders and call themselves contractors, y'all need to watch this man and take notes, because half of these houses y'all are building nowadays ain't worth the damn money people spend on it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, part 4, final part, Larry Haun. If he's dead, may he rest in peace. This man was a hell of a guy, man. Check it out.
Legendary carpenter Larry Haun.
Moving lumber is one thing a carpenter does a lot of. Make it as easy on yourself as possible. Drop the lumber close to the building and learn to carry it on your shoulder. This is a rim joist. It nails flush with the sill. I nail it tight at one end and then toenail it every 16 inches with 16 penny nails. It's important to tie that rim joist to the sill. When you're framing up higher, you may need to work off the plate like I'm doing here. Now keep your mind on what you're doing and work carefully. The next thing is to lay out the rim every 16 inches on center to mark the joist locations. I use a crayon, we call it a keel, to make a clear mark at 16, 32, 48, and so on. The marks on the side of the line, these show where the joist will nail. Here on the garage slab, we've set up a model floor in order to illustrate a point. This rim joist is laid out just like the one we nailed on. We hooked our tape on the outside, came over 16 inches, made a mark for our first joist. Then 32 inches, 48 inches, and so on down the line. Now, what this means is that when we sheet with our plywood sheeting, this first sheet is going to break half on this first joist. But that's just the way it does down there on our last joist. And it has to break like that because we're going to go on with another sheet. Now, traditionally, it's been done a little different. They'd hook their tape on the outside, and they'd come over 15 1/4 inches, make their mark. Then they'd drive an 8 penny nail in at that point, hook their tape on it, and go 16 inches, 32 inches, 48 inches on down the line. What that means is that this first sheet of plywood will have full bearing on this outside joist. We don't do it that way. It means an extra step. And structurally, it just doesn't make any difference. With the rim nailed off, time to scatter the joists. Start on one side and lay down a joist every 16 inches. Once you get a few joists down, then you have a safe walkway to carry the rest. Now we've got the joists scattered on one side, but they're long, so we mark them quickly with a framing square, cutting off the ends for blocks. These go between the joists. It's easier to work here in the middle of the building and cut these joists to length before we scatter all the rest of the joists on the other side. Once we get the joists cut to length on the far side, then we can scatter those that go here on this side. I push them up tight against the rim, cut off the excess by eye. Just make sure that your joists lap at least 4 inches. Okay, it's time to nail them in place. We roll them up on edge. Then we plumb them by eye on their layout marks. And then we nail through the rim right into the joists with 2 16 penny nails.